Hi, good morning. So this will be for Wednesday's lesson, Wednesday, September 22nd of this week. Please look at your books right now to page 81. Let's look at it together for a few minutes. I'll highlight the important parts in the chapter section, then maybe perhaps you can try to answer some of the questions, okay? So look at page 81 right now. It says learning goals. By the end of this collaboration, one should understand that bias can sometimes be introduced by the way the sample is selected. The absence of bias is one characteristic of a good sampling plan. Random sampling helps protect against selection bias. Remember I told you when something's random, it's good? So I'm going to underline that part where it says random sampling helps protect against selection bias. Now let's go down to the bottom for a little bit where it says introduction. In Unit 1.3, that's the bottom of page 81. In Unit 1.3, we learned that in order to generalize results from a sample to the population, the sample must be representative of the population. Can you underline that, please? The sample must be representative of the population. A sample is representative if it does not differ in any important way from the population. This collaboration explores sampling techniques that yield representative samples. Turn the page 82. Ready? Now, number 1, top of page 82, number 1. Suppose our college is thinking of ways to raise money. Many students like parking spaces close to their classes. The administration is thinking of selling reserved parking spaces for $100. The college wants to know the percentage of students who would support this fee. So underline that part. Underline, of course, $100 because that's important. And then underline the part where it says the college wants to know the percentage of students who would support this fee. It says one way to find the percentage of students that support this fee would be to conduct a census. A census is a survey of an entire population. The college would ask every student, underline every student on campus if she or he would support the fee. Is this a reasonable plan? Why do you think so? Now, can they ask every student? Are you able to survey every student? That's why they say, is this considered reasonable? Okay? Yes or no? Think about it, right? Now, number 2. Read the following ways to sample students at our college. Tell whether the method would produce a sample that represents the student population. Of course, that we're referring to, okay? Explain why or why not. 2A says choose 4 8 a.m. classes. Survey all the students in each class. Would that give us a reasonable interpretation for results to the question about parking spaces? Okay? B, put a poll on the front page of the college website. A poll is an opinion survey. Use the students who answer the question as a sample. C, talks to students as they enter the student center. Now, obviously, each of these has some kind of bias in them, right? So look what number 3 says. None of the sampling methods above will produce a sample that's representative of the college's population of students. Suggest a better method to gather a representative sample. So I want you to do is this. I want you to think, and of course we'll go through it a little bit more on Thursday. Think about possible answers for example 1 and 2, A, B, and C. And especially for 2A, B, and C, say why. Why would they not be viable to be an exact sample for the population we're talking about? In other words, what would be lacking in choosing these to draw conclusions from? Okay, turn to page 83. 83 says, at the top, ready? When we sample, a goal for every population member to have the same sample of being selected. We want to avoid selection bias. Underline selection bias. And here the next part tells what it is. This is the term used to describe a situation in which a sample differs from the population in some systematic way that some individuals are more likely to be selected than others. Okay? For example, imagine we're surveying students and we choose only students entering the library. Not all students go to the library, right? The students in the sample may not be representative of the population of all students. Okay, now watch. One good way to avoid selection bias is to select a simple, random sample. Remember we talked about that a little bit? Okay? In a simple random sample, all samples have the same chance of being chosen. Ready? Now, remember we talked about this, I told you this a little bit before. One way to obtain a simple random sample is to put the name of every individual in the population on a piece of paper and put the names in a hat, right? Then we draw n names to include in our simple random sample of size n. In practice, a number is assigned to each individual, and then random numbers are used to choose the sample. Okay, look at number 4. Biased samples result when sampling methods tend to leave out certain types of population members. Look at A. A says one type of biased sample is a voluntary response sample. So why is that biased? Let's say you're asking a question, okay? And you're going to base your answers on volunteers, because voluntary response means volunteers. Why would that not be proper to evaluate just those results and be able to say, okay, that extends to larger population? Why again? Because they're volunteers, right? Okay. Same thing over here. Look at B. B says another type of sample is a convenience sample. You know what a convenience sample is? Look what it says. Wherever you're going to do your survey, wherever the convenient area is, that's where you're going to survey students. But if you're just going to put it in one area, what about all the other areas, right? So that's why, again, you have bias for that as well. Okay? So look at page 83, read it a little bit. I want you to kind of get a pre-idea as to what they're talking about, and then you can kind of surmise what would be a good answer. And there are no specific answers. You understand? Remember I told you that if you can back up your answer with a valid reason, then it would be very good. Okay, and that's what I want you to think about. Look at page 84, example 5. Suppose our college has 13,000 students. The college has the names and email addresses of all students in the database, A, B, and C. You look at it. Okay, please look at it. And that's page 8. Go to page 84. And I'll tell you what. You can start reading 85 if you can. Okay, 6, 7, and 8. If you can do that, then you can have some good answers for us before our class meets again. Okay, so again, we're starting at 81. We're going to go all the way up to 85. And again, a lot of these are thought questions. Take your time, think about it, think about what makes sense. And that's what we're going to approach these surveys and examples. Okay, with that in mind, I wish you a good morning. Take care, and I'm going to see you Thursday. And we'll bring it all together in terms of answering the questions. Take care now. Thanks for watching. See you Thursday. Bye-bye.